The Full Melt Show is intended for a mature audience. It contains adult themes, adult content, and sometimes adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
It's the Full Melt Show.
Full Melt.
A policing procedure in New York continues to draw controversy this week as thousands took to the streets to protest the NYPD's Stop and Kiss program. The policy, which allows officers to kiss anyone who they think looks suspicious, has been the subject of criticism from those who say it's a violation of privacy and a potential breach of constitutional rights. New Yorkers who've been stopped often say the encounters feel extremely intrusive.
Going through my pockets, throwing my stuff on the ground, kissing me on my neck and face. They push me up against the wall and start nibbling on my ear. It's humiliating.
It's something you learn to live with at this point. Every time I go out and I see a cop, I'm ready for him to come up, ask me questions, and give me a little kiss, just because, the color of my skin. I mean, you don't see them kissing any pretty white ladies out here.
In his last month in office, Mayor Bloomberg has continued to defend the practice, saying, quote, "This program helps keep New Yorkers safe. If someone is suspected of a crime, officers should be allowed to question them and leave them with a small and reasonable kiss on the mouth." Joining us now is legal analyst Susan Hughes and Mark Brennan, a former police officer who has defended the Stop and Kiss program. Susan, does this policy go too far?
It does, Rachel. Look, it's one thing to kiss someone who you think might commit a crime, but these officers are just kissing people left and right with no probable cause.
If you've got nothing to hide, then it's not a problem. They just stop, ask where you're going, give you a gentle kiss or two, and let you go.
I am not saying that the police shouldn't be able to detain people and kiss them, but it has to be done in a colorblind way. I mean, the fact of the matter is 9 out of 10 people who are kissed under this policy in New York are black and Latino.
Yeah, that's because officers are kissing people in high crime areas. These kisses aren't racially motivated. The police are just doing their job.
But Mark, there have been examples, public examples, where these procedures have just gone too far. Let's take a look at a disturbing cell phone video that's been making the rounds on the internet.
Stop! Put your hands on your head. Oh, come on, man. They just kissed me 2 blocks ago. Come on, man. I didn't do anything.
Shut the f*** up and let me kiss you.
This is happening every day.
But some argue this is just the unfortunate reality we live in. Tighter security at airports, sporting events, kiss points in Washington, D.C. Commissioner Kelly said, quote, "This is what post-9/11 police work looks like. Honestly, if we could kiss everyone in New York City, we would. We just don't have the manpower."
Look, the cops can either kiss people now before there's violence, or they can be kissing a bunch of dead bodies at a crime scene.
All right, well, thanks, Mark and Susan. It is a complex issue. When we come back, a new health study finds that eating McDonald's at the airport doesn't count.
Are you high? What are you talking about?
It's the Full Melt Show, a marijuana discussion about news, culture, and entertainment. TheFullMelt.com. It's your backyard. It's celebrity interviews, talks with politicos. Plus, your calls are on the air. Download the Full Melt app, free at the Apple and Android app stores. With your host, Steve Green, the Full Melt Show.
Hell yeah! Welcome once again to the Full Melt Show. Exciting to be here, part of 2017 and the fabulous world of marijuana. Entertainment, news, and lifestyle is what you'll find. I'm Steve Green. With me on the phone is Wendy, as always. Good day, Wendy.
Hi. I'm excited about that new program.
Hey, the Stop and Kiss program, I like that. That's a little different. It's a strange approach there from the New York City Police.
I think I want to go to Miami for mine, though.
The police are sexier there? Is that what's going on?
Oh, and the firemen. Oh, my goodness.
Did the firemen stop and frisk and kiss, too?
If you ask them the right way.
No, wait a minute. I want to know the order. Does this come in? Do they stop and then kiss and then frisk? Or do they stop and then frisk and then kiss? Or is it just stop and kiss now? I'm confused.
It's a smorgasbord. It just depends on what you can get out of it.
Well, you don't want to get the you don't want to get the donut guy, the donut cop.
No.
You don't want him doing the smooching. You don't know where you don't know where that mouth's been. That's all I'm saying.
Do not, as in donut.
So, there are some exciting things happening in the world of marijuana, and we like to talk about them every single day here on this very program. We are your buddies. We are your pals. We are your friends. Your 420 friends. The 420 buddy line is open, 248-278-8067. We'll just leave it right open for you through the whole show. Why not?
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance. Somebody was visiting us on the Facebook feed earlier, and they were making comments. What did he say? He said something about he wanted a big open mouth kiss. I don't know.
I don't know. Let me look. Maybe someone needs to get in line.
It was the former feed. We were on for a second, and then some. I think the cops. I think the New York City cops, through the Russians, infiltrated their computer, and were a little mad about that joke, and shut us down. They just raided our computer right there, raped us on the internet.
Richard Rich, he wants a mouth hug from a cop.
Yeah, a mouth hug. That's what he said. A mouth hug. That's a strange way of putting it. A mouth hug. I think I know.
Your dog does that.
I think I know what he's implying there with the mouth hug. Have you ever been mouth hugged by a cop before? You don't have to answer that. You don't have to answer that question.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Wow. Now I'm excited. All right. So, how should we invite people in on this? You know, did you notice the title of the show?
I started to see it, but it was Tinfoil Hat, right?
No, well, that's the subtitle. Do you remember the Rocky Bullwinkle show?
Yes, I love that show.
Do you remember how they would be like, and the moral of the story is, and then they would say like what the moral of the story was, but then they would say and then they would say an alternate version of the moral of the story.
Right.
And the alternate version was kind of funny. That's kind of what this is. The tinfoil hat thing. Excuse me. Sorry.
Oh boy.
So no, the tinfoil hat thing was a subtitle. How did I title the rest of the show? I got to go look. I forgot.
Okay, let me go look.
I forgot. I already know what it says.
Closeted marijuana.
Yeah, closeted
hats.
Closeted marijuana. Tinfoil hats, right. Does that make sense? Is that intriguing? Is that clickbait? Did we click you into it? Oh, see.
I'm David.
You see what I did there? It was a little punny, a little clickbait. Yeah. Did I click you into it?
I've got the master level of that.
The master level of a punny?
Of the baiting.
Oh, the baiting. Oh, the master. I gotcha. Oh, I gotcha. You baited me into it. Oh. She's a master
baiter.
Call
in and stop this. Please, someone call in and stop us.
Definitely a masturbator. We got a masturbator here. Masturbator. All right. Well, should we interview the masturbator? Because I think it might be fun.
I think we should have our listeners call in and they can chime in with their experience.
Look, the subject of the show was the Tinfoil Hat Society. Not that was the subtitle. Not the Man in the Boat Society. Not the Man in the Boat. It was the Tinfoil Hat.
Okay.
Just to be clear about it.
But the man in the boat is something I still don't understand. You tried to tell that to me one time, and it has to do with a toilet or something. I don't know.
No, you don't know the man in the boat? Come on, you really?
No, I don't.
Are you joshing me?
I am not. Is it a guy thing? Because I don't know.
It's definitely a guy thing. But I thought all the girls knew about the man in the boat. Oh, we got a red line flash here. Okay, hang on I've just got to think about this for a second. We're running off the break. I got to put Wendy down. I got to pull her off the air for a second. Let her think about the man in the boat. Not the tidy bowl. The tidy bowl man does not apply to this analogy. That's all I'm going to say. Think about it during the break.
You're getting the full melt.
Your pets aren't just animals, they're members of your family. That's why we are excitedly wagging our tail about our hemp-based product that caters specifically to your best friend. Hemp oil drops are great for aging as well as active dogs and cats, and really, all kinds of pets. Hempwell drops are made from virgin, cold-pressed organic hemp oil. Our extraction process ensures the highest quality oil for your pet. With superior taste, smell, and nutrition, we hold ourselves to the highest standards, never using heat, chemicals, or preservatives in making our hemp oil products for pets. Pick up a bottle of Hempwell drops today at select retailers or online at hempwell.com. Hempwell. Hemp health for pets.
If you missed the last Full Melt show,
you missed a lot.
Yes, sir. We are just here to get you qualified, okay, for the lower interest rates.
This is a Visa card.
Okay. It's a Visa card, starts with 4, right?
So why do you need the numbers off the card?
I was going to let you know, what is your new interest rate going to be and what you qualified for, okay?
Well, wouldn't it be a security risk if I was to give my card number over the phone?
Sure, we are the ones who send you the billing statements every month.
Aren't you really just a liar? Aren't you just lying about this? Aren't you just trying to steal my credit card number? Oh, you are? You little piece of shit? You're a little fucking liar, aren't you? You're a little foreign piece of shit, aren't you? You're a little foreign fucking puke, aren't you?
That's what you are. You fucking piece of shit.
Oh no! You get to suck my fucking. You get to suck my fucking American dick, you foreign piece of fucking shit. There you go. That's how you do that.
Imagine a world where patients can use marijuana like any other medicine. The Marijuana Patients Organization challenges the status quo by helping our neighbors to enjoy a better quality of life. Visit the MPO at marijuanapatients.org and enjoy informative articles, engaging debates, and information about treatments, doctors, and dispensaries in your area. Over 50,000 people have registered at marijuanapatients.org since 2010. Join us at the Marijuana Patients Organization today, marijuanapatients.org.
When you need legal help, you don't want to guess at who's standing next to you in court. And when it comes to a medical marijuana defense, it's even smarter to partner with a lawyer before you need one. Based in Royal Oak, David Rudoy has a proven history of not being afraid to take your case all the way to the Supreme Court and win. Find the law offices of Rudoy Law
at RudoyLaw.com.
RudoyLaw.com is a quick reference on your rights concerning Michigan medical marijuana
and up-to-date news.
That's RUDOI Law.com. Call 248-935-9074 now and talk about your legal needs, because at RudoyLaw.com, we don't just stand up for you, we stand up with you.
Wish your skin could bounce back like it used to? Neutrogena Hydro Boost Water Gel instantly quenches skin to keep it supple and hydrated day after day. With hydrating hyaluronic acid, which retains up to 1,000 times its weight in water. This refreshing water gel plumps skin cells with intense hydration and locks it in. For supple, hydrated skin that bounces back. Hydro Boost from Neutrogena. See what's possible.
And now, a Planet Green Trees flashback.
That is the paradox. Like you can't make the civil employees rebut the presumption, right? The state just gave $8.5 million to this administrative agency to implement. I mean, the concept there is a little offset.
The police are still seem to be involved in it.
Nothing takes incentives away from police. In fact, it gives them more fish to shoot in the barrel.
Right.
The police are literally the regulatory agency for the entire program.
And why is that?
They needed their cut.
They're the only ones knowledgeable and responsible enough to handle it. This major public health and safety issue.
Don't miss the Planet Green Trees show. Thursdays at 8 Eastern on Spreaker. It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
Radio show.
Maybe I'm foolish, maybe I'm blind.
All right, welcome back to the Full Melt Show. With me on the phone is Wendy. If you want to call the program tonight, contribute to our zaniness, 248-278-8067 is the phone number. Wendy, so the man in the boat, do I really have to tell you about the man in the boat? Did you ask Theo about the man in the boat? Does he have an answer?
No, I'm not going to ask. Go ahead. Just give it. Tell me what it's about.
You're not going to ask? Really?
I've never heard of it.
Oh,
He's
God,
not here.
I can't do
He's
it.
Not here.
I can't. He's not there. Oh, God. So I don't know who to tell. I'm not going to tell you who the man in the boat is.
Let someone call in or something. Let our people call in and tell us.
Maybe is I always screw up his name. Malik. He needs to call in and tell her what the man in the boat. Tell her about the man in the boat, please.
He may not know. This may be. He may.
Oh, he's got to know. Look, he's not a guy if he doesn't know about the man in the boat.
Now I'm going to go look it up, and I'm just going to run around this.
Okay, so if I told you, look, I'm a gay guy and I know this stuff. Okay, so motorboat. Do you know what the motorboat is?
Oh, that has to do with boobs, right?
Oh, okay. Now you're on the right track. Okay, think a little bit lower, and think about where there might be a man in a boat. A man.
I got
it. In a boat. There you go.
I'm not impressed.
I'm just saying that's the thing. It's not the Tidy Bowl man. That's a different man in a different boat.
It's close to that whole region, though. It's that whole region.
It's in the same general area, right? They're sisters. They're akin. They're kinfolk. Mm-hmm. All right. So the subject of the show is the Tinfoil Hat Society. You know where I got that subject from? You already know because we talked about this earlier. You know.
I do know.
So I have this point of view, and I have for a long time, and it's just going to come out because it's evidenced in the news today. I'll tell you where it's evidenced. Do you want the evidence?
Go ahead.
I don't have the evidence. No, I'm just...
Okay, counsel, sit down.
Oh, good Lord. So, I hope they didn't shut our Amazon down. Looks like Amazon's in trouble. I got some Amazon trouble. I'm looking for the Google alert, and I've got the Amazon trouble. All right, so here we go. So tell me which of these stories is zany, because there are a couple of them that are in the zany category. Florida's new medical marijuana law takes effect Tuesday. But I've got something zany about that. And not just Florida, but Massachusetts. Massachusetts is one of the other states. Oh, what is that going on? Do we have to hear?
I don't know.
There's dinosaurs in the background now?
I think they're related to the frickin' dot matrix.
Oh, gosh. It's that? I
don't know.
I got to call the UMA office and see if we can get the squirrels out of the cage, so to speak.
Okay, Steve, it could have been me, but I don't want to admit to it.
Okay, well, don't do that. She's like, it wasn't Uma. Oh, God, he's going to blame Uma now. He's going to call up and scream at some lady at Uma over the squirrels in the cage, and it was just me raking my fork across the stove. All right, so...
There's cat food.
Oh, okay. You're eating cat food again? Because we don't have to do... There's people food. There's people food. Just saying. So we can... There's help. There's a 12-step program for people who do cat food. If you need it, we can hook it up. The thing that's weird is in Maine, in Massachusetts, there was a guy. Tell me that this isn't zany, and this fits right into the whole tinfoil hat thing, closet and marijuana. Now, see, there was a little double pun there, a little closet. People grow marijuana in the closet, and then there are people who are closeted about marijuana. Their marijuana use. Mm-hmm. I think there are a crap ton of prohibitionists who are closet marijuana users, and then there are the marijuana users who are just mainstream guys who smoke pot, but won't admit to it, or if they do, they just admit to their friends that they smoke pot with, and they have strange, generally, or some, it seems like they're a segment of that population that is closeted about their use, especially, but even the ones that aren't seem to have a propensity to be part of the group of people that want to say that there's a conspiracy attached to everything.
Conspiracy theorists.
Yes. They tend to be marijuana conspiracy theorists. And I don't, I'm laughing because there's a lady that's There's a lady on Facebook that's she's a proud tinfoil hat wearer, she says. And I'm not talking about the hat that you made out of tinfoil that used to be a makeshift bowl. You know how you make the bowl out of tinfoil? You don't want to recraft that into a marijuana hat, a tinfoil hat. You don't want to do that. It's not a good idea. So what I started to say is this. In Boston, or let's put it this way, in Western Massachusetts, so it's not Boston. I'll just read the story to you. Tell me how this doesn't fit in with the crazy marijuana people. Because there are crazy marijuana people, and I'm not saying I'm not one of them.
And I'm not saying that either, Steve.
I would point directly to me first. There's the craziest marijuana guy right there, the guy with the microphone and the bullhorn.
Mm-hmm.
A Western Massachusetts marijuana entrepreneur, according to this story today in Mass Live. It's masslive.com. Hang on. It wants to play games on me now, the stupid. Hold up. Going again. Do. Had to reopen it because it wanted to freeze on me. What the hell's up with that? Western Massachusetts marijuana entrepreneur may have put himself in a sticky legal situation by advertising his wares on Craigslist. As spotted by NEPR, several listings have popped up on the Western Massachusetts Craigslist page offering dispensary-grade marijuana, competitive prices, and quick delivery. Now, before I get into the rest of the story, have you? And
What's the number?
I want to know if there are other people like me who have a lot of Facebook friends who out of the blue get propositioned by somebody in Facebook Messenger to friend you, and then once you do friend them, immediately message you and start trying to make small talk about pot so that they can ask you if you want to buy some weed. Has anybody done that to you?
Not me.
No. Okay. So I guess I got more Facebook. I got like 5,000 Facebook friends.
You got a lot more Facebook people, and even my real friends don't like me. Okay, so definitely my Facebook friends are.
So not even the pranksters are calling up Wendy, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
The pranksters are like, no, she's on the do not call. She's on the do not prank list.
Yeah.
I get these people all the time, and I immediately, okay, this is where I fit into this group with the Tinfoil Hat Society. And I don't think I fit into the group. I think I'm just using common sense, but you can't always tell. There's that thin veil of, is it sane or is it insane? And so I'm on the sane side going, this guy just friended me, or this girl, and you can always tell who they are because when they friend you, the only thing on their Facebook profile is lots and lots of marijuana, but not from a medical marijuana standpoint. You're not looking at jars and labels and strains. You're looking at like giant piles of marijuana. Like it was taken out in a barn somewhere in Mexico. Or lots of big prepackaged bags of marijuana. That
sounds like a cop thing to me.
It
sounds
is.
Like it's a cop fishing.
It totally is. I don't know who they are or where they're, but they're usually from out of state. They're from Texas or Tennessee or someplace. And these guys will, start, hey, da-da-da-da-da, here's my price list, here's what I got, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, are you freaking stupid, dude? How freaking, first off, are you insulting me or are you just a really complete idiot? And then I always unfriend them. And then I block them. But I get a crap ton of them. I'll get like a couple of these a week, at least. So this is one of those guys that's kind of stupid like that. But is he? Here's how the story goes. Though personal possession of marijuana is now legal in Massachusetts, selling it is not. Gifts of less than an ounce are allowed. And it isn't that provision that the seller, who identifies himself as Corey, believes he has found a loophole. It's in that provision. Here's his disclaimer. He says, quote, disclaimer, I'm selling you an empty bag. Marijuana placed in that empty sandwich bag is simply a legal gift, not connected in any way to any sale, the ad reads. The empty bags retail from $20 with 1 gram of marijuana included to $325 for nearly an ounce, right below the state's legal limit of transfer. NEPR spoke with Northwest District Attorney David Sullivan, who threw cold water on the seller's legal workaround. Quote, to say that a baggie costs $350 is ridiculous, end quote. Sullivan told NPR, I think it's a clear fraud on its face. Gifts of marijuana, while legal, are also not allowed to be advertised to the public, according to the law. The seller told NEPR via text that his customers, sorry. Boy, this is a terribly moving website. His customers are carded to ensure they're 21. Asked by Mass Live whether he feared prosecution, he said no, expressing faith that police had higher priority targets to investigate. He has encountered police while carrying before and was let off with a warning after coming clean, he said. He said, I've been pulled over before. I told the police officers exactly what I was doing. They searched my vehicle, looked at my pot, and even used my scale and calibration weight to check it, he wrote in a text. He says, I never travel without it. But they always let him go, he says. They got bigger fish to fry. He's like, look, they're out here selling coke. They're out here selling meth and heroin. They're out here selling sex. Why can't I sell my legal weed?
Or my baggie.
Well,
my baggie.
That's what it is. He's selling a baggie for $325, and then he's including almost a free ounce. And this is no.
I just don't think that gift thing is going to work because people have tried to float that before, and I don't know when marijuana as a gift is legal. Maybe in Massachusetts. I don't know. I've never heard that.
It says you can give somebody weed up to an ounce. Look, in Michigan, it says clearly here you can give weed to anybody. In the medical program.
But it hasn't been interpreted that way.
It says it in the law that you can give somebody weed up to their 2.5 ounces. As long as they're a qualified, unregistered, or registered patient, you can transfer that marijuana, and it is a legal transfer as long as there's no cash involved, except for possibly remuneration for the costs involved in procuring the marijuana. It's all still gray area. But anyways, we're diverging away from the point. Here's a guy. Now, mind you, I saw the Craigslist ad because they've got a picture of the ad in the article. And this is one of Google's top 10 marijuana stories of the day. This article at Mass Live about, a $325 baggie with free weed. I could see why it would be, certain clickbait. But what's funny about this is that this is the kind of guy, first off, that I would never buy weed from. I guess if I was a medical patient in Massachusetts and didn't have a way to be in the program yet because they haven't, or whatever, they just, it's all legal now. There's no program. You can grow weed at home now. Can you? Yeah, that's the deal, isn't it? Can't you grow weed in Massachusetts now? I got to look that up now.
I think they're going to let people have 6 plants or something.
Right,
I'll look that up.
Pretty sure you're right. But that's I think this guy's closeted. But he's kind of, in a way, he's uncloseted. He busted the closet doors open to say, look, I got weed, I'm selling it on Craigslist, but I'm not really selling it, I'll give it to you, but you got to buy an expensive baggie. And it's clever. I mean, it's been done before. Like you said, he's not the first guy to think of this remedy. Not selling anything except a baggie. It's legal to sell a baggie. If you want to pay $325 for my baggie, it'll come with some free weed. I won't tell you exactly how much, but there's some free weed maybe in it for you.
This is like a myth. This is just like how people say, oh, as long as I give my attorney $1, now we have an attorney-client privilege. That's been perpetuated by entertainment. That's not true. And I think it's the same thing with this idea that he thinks he can sell a bag and give away his marijuana. I'm sure there's a prosecutor out there that can prove him wrong.
So the same kind of class of people that I'm talking about tend to be, in my estimation, based on my experience. Wendy would argue that I'm painting with a broad brush. Yes? Am I putting words in your mouth?
I'm on mute laughing. I don't want to laugh over everything you say.
I say, well, you can laugh. Look, I don't want you to laugh in mute. It's kind of like a muffled horn.
Okay, go ahead. I'll try not to laugh over what you're talking
come on.
about. I know where you're going.
We like
I know where you're going.
I'm just saying. So if there's these guys that want to say things like, oh, and I'm not going to argue with them. I mean, okay, I will a little bit. Okay, a lot. But it's just friendly.
Yes, you will.
It's friendly argumentation. These guys are like the conspiracy theorists. They're like the 9/11 wasn't real. 9/11 was the government. It was all the government that did 9/11. It's all right there. You could see it in the videos. Those buildings collapsed because there was a controlled demolition. All these people signed up. All these people with degrees in science and engineering all say that this is not this building could not have come down this way. None of these buildings could have come down the way that you see them come down on video without controlled demolition. In fact, we think you can see the demolition going off floor by floor as it happens. This is what their claim is. Same thing with Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook wasn't real. It was all made up. You can tell by they'll hold up specific images and say, look, if this was really going on, why would this happen? And why would that happen? And why would the other thing happen? And so, people are defending themselves on Facebook. Look, if you want to defend yourself, come on, put up your dukes and come on the show. 248-278-8067. Is that right? 248-278-8067, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, she just put it up on the website. You just put it up on the Facebook page for us. So, yeah, if you're one of the people that thinks that Sandy Hook wasn't real or that, if you're one of these prepper people, are you a prepper, Wendy? Do you do the prepping in the backyard? You got the hole dug with the water and you got some soup in there and some stuff to create fire and something to, blow somebody's head off with?
I do. I'm just that type of person. Anyhow, I'm a general brownie Girl Scout person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you're a
I make my own laundry soap. So you know that I'm like growing my own food.
So she's a prepper. She just said she's a prepper. I'm a prepper. He's a prepper. She's a prepper. You're a prepper.
I just said I'm prepared.
Wouldn't you like to be a prepper too? Never mind.
I would like to be a prepper too. I just like doing things like for myself and knowing that I can do them. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone's into that.
I've got a better example, and this example drives me even baddier, Wendy. The people who want to say that they're spraying everything in the sky with the planes, that the contrails are really chemtrails, Those people drive me insane, and I'll tell you about the science behind that coming up after this break. Hang on.
You're getting the full melt.
Your pets aren't just animals, they're members of your family. That's why we are excitedly wagging our tail about our hemp-based product that caters specifically to your best friend. Hemp oil drops are great for aging as well as active dogs and cats, and really, all kinds of pets. Hemp oil drops are made from virgin, cold-pressed organic hemp oil. Our extraction process ensures the highest quality oil for your pet, with superior taste, smell, and nutrition. We hold ourselves to the highest standards, never using heat, chemicals, or preservatives in making our hemp oil products for pets. Pick up a bottle of hemp oil drops today at select retailers or online at hempwell.com. Hempwell, hemp health for pets.
Attention. Get ready to write down a very important number.
Michael does not know how to fail. Second place is loser.
If you have a medical marijuana case and need legal representation, call the best, attorney Michael Comorn.
He's very passionate in the courtroom.
Getting the best outcome requires quick legal action, and it needs to start with one call, toll-free to attorney Michael Comorn. 800-656-3557. Write it down, 800-656-3557.
Michael Comorn gave us our life back.
Attorney Michael Comorn. Vigorous criminal defense.
Play-Doh Compound can help kids practice communication skills. Start by presenting the visual of the letter or word. Then ask them to mold the Play-Doh compound into the shape of the letters. It's an effective way to foster speech and even writing.
Ram trucks are reaching new heights when it comes to capability and efficiency. The Ram Heavy Duty is the most capable full-size pickup on the road today. And the Ram 1500 is the most fuel-efficient full-size pickup ever. So what does that mean? It means Ram trucks are built for the long haul. Ram, America's longest-lasting pickups.
RootMetrics, in the nation's largest independent study, tested wireless performance across the country. Verizon won big with 153 state wins. AT&T got 38, Sprint got 2, and T-Mobile got 0. Verizon also won first in the U.S. for data, call, speed, and reliability. AT&T got text. Stuck on an average network? Join Verizon, and we'll cover your cost to switch.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show. Darn tootin' it is. Broadcasting on a Tuesday after a Marijuana Monday. I love this song, by the way. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. I don't know if you ever heard this song. You ever heard this song before, Wendy? It's pretty damn cool. Hang on. Gotta wait for
When you get older, plainer, saner, will you remember all the danger we came from?
Welcome back to the show, Wendy. Are you there?
I'm here.
You ever heard that song? I think that show is awesome. Or that's a great tune.
You've got some great music. You've got good taste in music.
When people put on the tinfoil hat, it drives me nuts, Wendy. I mean, sometimes I think I got the foil hat on, and I just don't know it. Do you ever think you might have the foil hat on?
I always question myself, and I guess that's what keeps me sane. It's when you stop questioning yourself, that's when you got to worry.
Right. It's like, is this crazy? Is this not crazy?
Exactly.
People should call in and tell us if they've got the foil. Do you wear the foil hat? That's what we want to know. 248-278-8067.
And I know we got friends out there that do. Like right now, I know there's people, if we start talking about things, they're going to go, ooh, they're going to amp up.
They're going to be like, wait a minute, I've got the foil hat, but somebody else has got my foil hat on right now. Hey, don't take one of my foil hats.
Because I know people who think Sandy Hook is a hoax, and I know, I've heard of these people. I know who you're talking about.
It drives me insane because they go against all logic, and it's not just logic, but they don't trust the media. They think the media is conspiring with some unknown entity to deceive you about probably the government, to deceive you over what happened with this terrible tragedy. I think it's.
Can I tell you why I think this is?
What?
Can I tell you why I think people do this? Why they believe in this?
Why?
Because they overestimate their own intelligence and their education and knowledge on something and then try to substitute that in. Like, I've seen that with juries. I've seen juries go, oh, I would never do this, or that would never happen that way, and then come to a conclusion based on their own experience. I've had people say, look, I'm an expert in this, this, and this, and I know just from watching this video or watching this that could not go down that way. But they weren't there. They weren't firsthand. They're seeing a video.
Well, and this is ultimately we're all victim to this because none of us were at Sandy Hook unless you were one of the people at Sandy Hook, right?
Correct.
I think that if you were a parent of somebody that died at Sandy Hook, and there's this whole segment of America that wants to believe that you and your child don't exist, you're just hired actors on a stage, standing before a camera at 2020. And I think that the whole notion, if you just sit back and look at it and examine it for common sense, is laughable on its face. That's why I say tinfoil hat. Because I'll give you a really good example. Because the Sandy Hook and the 9/11 questions are too deep and too wide. We'd never have time to talk about it. I'll give you a shorter example. The contrail people. So if you know much about just standard high school science, stuff that I was taught in my standard high school science class, and then was taught a little bit more when I went off to college and took, rocks and stars and meteorology and other, basic courses. Nothing fancy in the science arena. This is just basic educational science material. If you know basic science, you can figure some stuff out. You can kind of separate the wheat from the chaff, so to speak. And one of the things you can figure out is what's happening when a plane flies through the sky and it leaves a cloud behind it. This is really not technically difficult to figure out. And so when you explain to one of these, prepper people, I'm a prepper, he's a prepper. Are you a prepper? You said you're a prepper.
I'd like to be a prepper too.
You want to be a prepper? It's the cool thing. I'm gonna look up that music and play it now after the break. It's a Dr. Pepper commercial. It's from the 70s, I think, or maybe the early 80s. Was it? It might have been the early 80s.
I think it's like the late 70s.
Yeah, because they got I still see some angle of bell bottom in the guy that's doing the dancing in my head. I can watch.
Yeah, he's got dark hair.
He does. He's got dark. He's got dark, long, straight hair, and like shoulder length, and he's got the bell bottom suede on. So
and he used to have his own TV show too for a while.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't go that far. Is he another Larry Santos story? Because I don't want to go there. Let me finish this thought.
No.
So the contrail that's left behind the wing of an airplane is simply water vapor that is condensing because of a temperature inversion. So the same principle is happening in the sky as basically is what's happening on the outside of a glass of pop with some ice in it. You get the temperature inversion, the warm air on the outside and the cold, temperature on the inside of the glass makes the moisture in the air condense on the outside of the glass and causes that condensation to then drip down and make a ring on the coffee table. I mean, that's what's going on scientifically. It is a temperature inversion with relative humidity involved, where the humidity is going to then take form of dew. And this is the same thing as reaching the dew point. You're talking about the dew point. Overnight, when it gets cold in the summertime at night, the condensation forms on the plant material because it's not got no place else to go other than to collect. Because it's being forced out of the air. The moisture is being forced out of the air. And this is the same thing that's happening with the contrail because you've got a hot jet with all this huge amount of heat in it, and it's up there in icy cold temperatures, 30,000 feet in the air sometimes. And the temperature inversion is causing the moisture that's in the hot air, which can hold a lot more moisture, to be forced out of it when it hits the cold air, and it turns into this fog. So it's condensing and turning into moisture droplets in the air, which you see as fog. And so, but when you explain this principle to somebody that's one of these prepper guys, I'm a prepper, he's a prepper, then what those guys say is that, oh, well, no, then, what this is, they're spraying you with some poison is what they're doing. And I say, that's the marijuana effect. That's the tinfoil hat effect. Because what their eyes see makes them want to believe something like that could be, because they're all doing it. And the proof is, I got the proof right here. Just listen to my proof. Here's what they'll tell you. That if what you're saying is what's going on, they wouldn't just turn off and turn on. We can see video of a plane flying through the sky, and as it's going up, you see the vapor trail, and then it goes off, and then it goes for a distance, and then it comes back on again, and then it goes back off again. Do you know what scientific principle is causing that, Wendy? Do you have any idea what that might just be?
Well, I was not paying super attention, so no.
Was there something
But I probably
shiny?
couldn't.
Was there a shiny object? Is that what happened? So
I was looking at the Dr. Pepper commercial.
Oh, so the thing that could be causing that is a difference in the amount of moisture in the air, the relative humidity, because any pilot can tell you, anybody that does ballooning can tell you, there are different temperatures at different levels, and there are different wind speeds and wind directions at different altitudes. And this is why when if you ever go to a ballooning event, they send up a big black hot air balloon. It's a small version of a big balloon, but it's just it's a weather balloon. And they're sending it up so they can see where the weather balloon is going, so they can tell at which altitude, what direction and speed the wind is to see if it's safe to launch. As planes are climbing through these different layers of air, some of them feet apart from each other. A very humid, a warm mass colliding with a cold mass. This happens at altitude all the time. And when you've got this hot engine flying through these different air masses at different temperatures, going through these different layers, it's going to cause that vapor trail to dissipate and come back depending on how much humidity is being forced out of the air. It's really not a difficult thing to explain. But when you explain this to people, they just laugh at you, and then they call you crazy, and they tell you you're wearing the tinfoil hat, and they don't offer any scientific explanation for their adamant position that you're just crazy. And that's what I think is some of the marijuana people.
And you know what adds to that? It's like the fake stuff like you even showed on your site the other day where you could make Trump look like he's saying anything.
Oh, you're talking
how can people even trust their eyes anymore?
Well, that's just an app version of what they used to do with Mad Max back in the day. You remember Mad Max?
Yep. Yes, I do.
Not Mad Max. I'm talking about Max Headroom. I'm mixing two metaphors.
Yeah, I love Max Headroom.
So Max Headroom, there was a real actor that played Max Headroom, and they did the thing now they do with the motion capture where they put markers on your face, and then he would use the markers on his face. The computer would control what was going on. We got a caller. Who's on the phone? Welcome to the Full Melt Show.
3 guesses.
It's Tinfoil Hat Lady. So are you a prepper? Do you want to be a prepper too?
No.
You're not a prepper?
No, I'm.
Do you think Sandy
not
Hook?
Hard.
Do you think this is Janine, by the way? Welcome to the show, Janine, from Michigan.
Hi, Janine.
So
Hi.
Janine says that Sandy Hook didn't take place. Is that true or not true?
No. I'm not saying Sandy Hook didn't take place.
Okay, Janine says that 9/11 never happened. It was the government that did it.
Yes, I am.
Okay,
I agree with that.
We got that. So there's 1 out of 2. So that's about 0 for 3. Chemtrails are real.
I'm chemtrails are bad. Chemtrails.
So the answer is yes. Chemtrails are real. That's what you would agree that statement is correct. Chemtrails are real.
Yeah. Chemtrails are real.
So let me get this out of you because I want to understand it. Maybe you can explain it to me. And if you can't, maybe you can get one of your, tinfoil hat friends to tell me. If chemtrails are real, what is the chem? Because I know it's not. We're not rolling. We're not all down here rolling. What can when I say
why would one look like it lights on fire?
Lights on fire.
What would make it look like it lights on fire? Like it lit up, like it exploded.
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe you saw a phenomenon that wasn't associated with the chemtrail, but might have been associated with some a bird strike or some other thing going on with the jet engine. Because they do have a hot exhaust, and it is usually it's put through a turbine. But if there's a sudden explosion inside the or some catastrophic event that's happening inside the engine, which can cause an engine failure, it's not going to cause a crash. It's necessarily there are a lot of catastrophic engine events that happen at flight at altitude that don't result in anything but a plane going into the fix-it hangar when it lands. But I could think of a lot of things that might cause fire or some glowing material like plasma or something to eject out of the back of a jet engine, because if you see them when they first take off, when they first throttle up, when they're at 100% or sometimes 110% of their thrust capacity, while they got the brakes on and they're taking off, they throttle it fully up so that when they take the brakes off, it starts going right away. There you will see often. You'll see often at that. Wait a minute. You'll see often at that stage, plasma ejecting out of the back of the engine until it starts to take off, because now it's getting different air pressure. It's changing. The dynamics of the system are changing, and so it doesn't eject the plasma anymore. But I can see where there might be some conditions at altitude which would cause it to eject plasma, and I think that's what that could easily be. I mean, we wouldn't know unless you had the video and we're examining it, but we're just kicking this around to see who's got the tinfoil hat on. So far, I think it's you.
Right. That's fine.
But so
this was I'll find the video and I'll send it to you so you could look at it. But this plane was really, really far up, and it was shut off. Like it was shut off and then it was turned back on. So it looked like it was a control.
Well,
burn.
and you know, I think there are a lot of things that happen with it, you know, just in the UFO world, the unidentified flying object world, where things are, you know, nominally explainable. And I've seen this happen myself. I'm like, what in the world could that be? And then I start shifting all the dynamics of physics through my head and I figure out what it is. I'm like, wow, that really looks like this. That looks like, oh, that's not what it is. That's not what I thought it was. Now I figured it out now. A lot of people don't have, I suppose, the shifting physics, you know, of maths going on in their head like I do when I see something like that and start to go, is this real? Or is this, you know, some crazy thing that looks like it might be real? Is this an illusion? What could this be if it's not what I think it is? And then I finally figure out what it is. Usually. Now I can tell you, okay, see, now I'm going to put the tinfoil hat on for a minute, as long as we're on the subject. So when I was a young kid, about 9 years old. Oh, see, we're going to break. Okay, we're going to have to hold the story. This is a UFO story, and it's a fascinating UFO story, and I stand by my word, as I'm in front of a microphone and a camera here today, that this happened. 9 years old, and this thing wasn't that far from me. I'll tell you the story coming up after the break. Okay, you want to hang on, Janine? You want to hang on through the break? All right, hang on through the break. She can't hear me. Hang on, Janine and Wendy, and you guys on Facebook and YouTube. We'll be right back after these words.
You're getting the full melt.
And now, a Planet Green Trees flashback.
When do medibles have to be tested too? Is that also part of the caregiver?
Nope, that's only for the.
Will they have to be tested?
It's only for the dispensaries.
But there is a new restriction with respect to medibles in that patients can only make them for themselves.
Right.
And they've created new crimes for transfers outside of the caregiver.
They're very specific. But, I mean, it's not.
That's what we just talked about.
It's no more harsh than the manufacturing.
No. They can be transferred. The medibles can be transferred from the registered caregiver to the registered patient, but not beyond. And that's how they would expect you to interpret the law.
Don't miss the Planet Green Trees show, Thursdays at 8 Eastern on Spreaker. Promotional consideration provided by NoSmell.com, pioneering the storage market for cannabis users. The NoSmell patented bag technology offers users 100% smell-proof detection from even the most sophisticated of noses. NoSmell.com, so nobody knows. When placing your order for a NoSmell bag, make sure to use discount code FULLMELT and take 10% off the entire order. Learn more about NoSmell technology at NoSmell.com.
Don't stop chasing, wander while the day brings up. Here comes the sunrise and we'll see the sunset. Coasting by the ocean with some music, turn it up. We got the whole night, 360 days of this. All I'm talking wide, the memories will make you always make you smile.
Happiness is calling at sandiego.org.
When you need legal help, you don't want to guess at who's standing next to you in court. And when it comes to a medical marijuana defense, it's even smarter to partner with a lawyer before you need one. Based in Royal Oak, David Rudoy has a proven history of not being afraid to take your case all the way to the Supreme Court and win. Find the law offices of Rudoy Law
at RudoyLaw.com.
RudoyLaw.com is a quick reference on your rights concerning Michigan medical marijuana
and up-to-date news.
That's RUDOI Law.com. Call 248-935-9074 now and talk about your legal needs, because at RudoyLaw.com, we don't just stand up for you, we stand up with you.
My moderate to severe chronic plaque psoriasis made a simple trip to the grocery store anything but simple.
So I had an important conversation with my dermatologist about Humira. He explained that Humira works inside my body to target and help block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to my symptoms. In clinical trials, most adults taking Humira were clear or almost clear, and many saw 75% and even 90% clearance in just 4 months.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Ask about Humira, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists. Clear skin is possible.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show. The Full Melt Radio Show comes to you Monday through Friday from 7 until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're here with you every weeknight, friends. Try to talk about cannabis, entertainment news, information, keep you up to date on what's going on. With us on the phone is both Wendy and Mrs. X. Mrs. X, it's Janine. Hi, Janine. So, Tinfoil Hat X. I got the tinfoil hat on. Maybe you can tell me that I'm wearing a foil hat. Now, I didn't have the wisdom that I have with me now as a 50-year-old man. But I did back then see with mine own two eyes. This was in the fall, and this had to have been, in the 70s, late 70s, very, very early 80s, perhaps? They had to be late 70s. I'm in the front yard, and there is a family gathering going on. They're up on the hill we're out in the country. They're up on the hill behind the house, on the long back porch, having a barbecue, preparing food, probably drinking some beer. Now, I'd never done the cannabis before back then, and probably wouldn't again for another, double my age before I'd see the cannabis and do something with it. I'm out in the yard with my younger peers. They're all younger than me. I'm the oldest grandchild. All the nieces and nephews are there, and we're making rings in the leaves. So we're making some rings in the leaves and just having a good time making forts in the leaves, basically. What every young kid does. And while I'm out there, I built up the fort so that I could lay against the leaves without them, without folding all the way back. So I could sit forward a little bit, but I was still on a reclined angle. And I'm looking up into the sky, and I see off in a weird place because it didn't seem like I'd ever seen the sun there before. There was something very bright, and it was off over the treetops. And then it just kind of swooped in very quickly. Like it was just there out of nowhere. This great, big, giant thing. And I know I wasn't the only one to see it. And remember, I'm 9 years old. Somewhere in that neighborhood. And I see this freaking huge, giant thing over the house. And I immediately identify it as an unidentified flying object. It's got lights underneath it. They're big. They're glowing. It doesn't. Now, the thing that I thought was very strange was there was no noise coming out this thing. It was absolutely silent. You couldn't tell auditorily that it was there whatsoever. But it was definitely huge. It was definitely close. It was definitely moving very slow from left to right across my field of vision over my head and those of my siblings or my, young friends, my young family members. And everybody's looking up. This is how I know I'm not the only one that saw this. I look around and they're all looking at the same thing that I'm looking at. I don't even have the presence of mind to ask if anybody can see what I'm looking at. And it's there for just a few fleeting moments. It glides to the right, and then as fast as it came, it was gone. You could see it leave like very quickly off in a U-shaped direction. It just was swooped up and it was gone. Am I crazy? Is this a childhood fantasy? Was this me just seeing elves and snowmen and,
Nope. I don't think so. I mean, I don't know what this has to do with cannabis, but I saw something similar, but as an adult. So I know it wasn't just me daydreaming
was it close up and impersonal?
Fantasizing.
Was it close up and personal? Like, what was that Steven Spielberg movie? But way back in the day.
Third Encounters.
Yeah, Third Encounters. Was it
Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Was it Close Encounters of the Third Kind 3D? Was it that?
I want to, you know what? I'm going to save my UFO story. I want to hear from some of our other people. I'm not ready to disclose yet.
Oh, wow.
I do believe that you could have seen something that, if it's not from out of this world, which UFO does not mean from out of this world. It just means unidentified.
Right. It's
that
up in the air.
Secret military.
Definitely flying.
Secret military.
It's up in the air. It's not swamp gas. It doesn't appear to be swamp gas. It's not the Brady Bunch with pulling a sheet across the trees with a flashlight, making strange noises. It's not that.
Look, when our astronauts go on the record and talk about the things that they've seen, and you can hear the audio, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's coming near me," or it's pilots, and you can hear the audio, and then they do like very detailed drawings where they've gone and see things.
All right.
I don't think people are mass hallucinating those things. I don't.
Well, I definitely am not. See, there's nothing that I can even back, because I'm playing that video back in my head. I've played it back many times before.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that I can see in this encounter that would make me think that there was something going on other than what I saw. There's nothing scientific that I can use to explain away what I looked at. It was very close to me. I don't know exactly how far it was. It was definitely above the treetops, but it was silent, so nobody could hear it. It was just visually present, and it was bright when it came and when it went. But when it was there were glowing lights underneath it, and it was definitely the typical paper plate upside down on a paper plate shape, the saucer shape.
Yeah. No, I really think there's something to it. I think every time, this sounds crazy, but I think when they put a new president in office, he gets a little rundown of, hey, they're here, but we don't tell people, blah, blah, blah.
Take me to your leader. Not him! Not him!
The Trumpster.
So, back to the tinfoil hat thing, because I think a lot of my marijuana... Now, I don't... I just had to throw in the marijuana story, or the UFO story, because that's as goofy as I get. That's the craziest story I got with outlandish. I really saw it with my own two eyes. It's not a Bigfoot story.
I've got a great ghost story.
Well, don't tell me. Go ahead, Janine.
Okay, I may have found it. Can I tag you, or will I mess you up?
Can you tag? What did you find?
I think I found the video in Facebook.
Oh, of the Dr. Pepper thing?
No, the video she's talking about, she wanted to talk about earlier. I already put up the Dr. Pepper video.
Oh, you did put up the
the flying flaming penis.
What? The flaming penis? Oh, I don't know. I think
Do I have your attention?
I think if it's on fire, you better go to the doctor, is what I think. If it it's like Bosnia Herzegovina. If it's Herzegovina, you better see a doctor. Yeah. No, it's that doesn't sound. I don't know that you should link me that. If it's going to get us Facebook banned, you know what you're going to do? You're trying to put me in Facebook jail, aren't you? You're a Facebook narc.
Don't do that. Don't even say that.
No, I'm saying you're going to end up. I'm going to end up getting him outside. It's an analogy. It's not like a drug narc. It's a Facebook narc. He put up a titty picture, and so now you got to go to Facebook jail. Hey, it was a flaming penis. What now? I'm very confused. And how does this make you? Does this have anything?
I was just trying to get your attention.
Well, you got my attention. Was it?
Yeah, I figured that would.
Was the penis wearing?
Yeah, just copy and paste the link into the comment on Facebook, and we'll see it.
I feel Facebook jail coming on already. Look, was it wearing a tinfoil hat? I need to know if it was wearing a tinfoil hat. That penis had a tinfoil hat on it, didn't it?
Well, yeah, it's a tinfoil hat thing.
Okay.
But I just wanted. I don't know how to do that, Wendy. I was going to ask him if I tag him, will I mess him up? Because I know I've called before when he's doing the show.
Probably not. No, just go ahead and try it. We'll find out.
People tag me all day long. Just don't call me late.
You wish.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how much. We're almost out of time, guys. I think we ran us clean. I really wanted to pick clean the idea about the tinfoil hat, because I think there are a lot of people who are closeted about their own paranoia, and I say that the paranoia is something you should embrace. Just let it warm. Let it come over you like a warm feeling. Just let it settle in, because it's just part of the effect of cannabis. It's all it is. It's what if you listen to this program, on cannabis, it may have been slightly more entertaining than if you'd listened to the program off cannabis. I would hope not too much, though. We'll see you next time on The Full Melt Show.
The Full Melt Show is a production of TFM Media.